Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Tudor Hydronaut II. This is the reference 20030 in stainless steel. You can see and you can purchase this late 2000s Tudor sports watch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this Tudor Hydronaut II, with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Tudor diver. This is a timepiece that quite literally unifies three eras of Tudor: the original 1950s to late 1990s Tudor Submariners, and the 2013 to present Pelagos and Black Bay collection. This was the watch that made up the heart of the order in Tudor's lineup from late 1999 through approximately early 2013 when the newer divers took over. Now, the Hydronaut I came out in 1999, the Hydronaut II that you see here came out in 2009. This is a watch that embodies the best of Tudor manufacturing quality, styling flair, and value. I often recommend these to folks as the thinking man's alternative to paying over list for a contemporary Rolex Submariner. Now, you can see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the watch is easy to wear. It's more of a cushion case than a round case. Across the round of the case, from 9 to 3, not inclusive of crown or guards, the watch is 40.5 millimeters. It's quite slim. It is thinner than a contemporary Rolex Submariner. Only 10.7 millimeters thick with a generously sloped case flank. You can wear this watch with any tight dress sleeve or cuff. From lug to lug, it's also quite compact. 47 millimeters across the wrist means you can easily wear this watch, in my estimation, on a wrist as small as 13 to 13.5 centimeters in circumference. So this is a great modern dive watch for a smaller wrist. Now I'm going to flip the clamshell lock and show you the bracelet, which is perhaps more than I expected from an entry-level Rolex Tudor product. This is a watch that features a gorgeous multi-link bracelet. It's sort of a hybrid of the Rolex President and the Jubilee. It has a 5-link design like the Jubilee, but it has the large sort of tri-link pattern, almost like you have the intermediate portion, the outer links, and the approximate width lengthwise of what you'd find on the Rolex President. So while it has a tripartite look, it has a 5-piece assembly like the Jubilee, and it's as flexible and comfortable as the Jubilee. You can see Rolex Tudor, no compromise regardless of price point and ergonomics. Underneath, plenty of hollows and ventilation gaps to allow the bracelet to aerate the wrist on a hot day. Plus, you can see the hollows between the links to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. You'll also note that all of the sizing is done with screws, not spring bars or pins and sleeves. You can see this watch has been sympathetically worn and rarely, if ever, refinished since it was made, as everything, all of the marks on the interior clasp, including the serial number and reference, are very crisp. It's equal in quality to what was offered in the mid to late 2000s on a standard steel Rolex Submariner, and in some ways I actually find it more aesthetically attractive as a package. The clasp features a number of spring bar adjusted micrometric sizing increments, and you can see that it's nicely integrated with a conforming end piece to trace the arc of the case, though I will say that this watch would look just as fetching on a strap. If that's your style, this watch is more readily adaptable to strap use than contemporary Rolex models, which are almost invariably designed exclusively to work ergonomically and aesthetically with their integrated bracelets. This one's got a little bit more of a free spirit, and I think it would look fantastic on a brown calfskin. The watch is mostly of high polish and profile, but you notice that the case is fairly fluid, curvaceous, sensuous. It's got a sex appeal to it that's missing in the flat surfaces of contemporary Rolex watches. And if you don't believe me, take a look. Yes, I know this is a sex bomb watch, and Chrono24 and eBay love it, but this is a contemporary Rolex Hulk. Look how flat and featureless the side of the case is. I love the green, I love the build quality, I love all that watch is substantively, but for my money, this is just more appealing and emotionally gripping. You also note how the bezel has been countersunk between the lugs so that it can sit ultra low, keeping the watch nice and thin. You can still grip it from the flanks and it can still protrude, sunken into the plane of the lugs, so you can double up all that material, bezel and lug, in the same vertical space, keeping the watch thin. Now, it does have a unidirectional rotating dive bezel that is a pleasure to use, and nicely recessed too, so it's not going to move accidentally. This is one of the more adamant dive bezels I've encountered. The detent and the ratchet are pleasing. And you can see that the watch allows you to line up the luminescent pearl with the minute hand for an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. I always love that feature because I find for most applications using a chronograph, I time something less than an hour. And when I'm timing something of fewer than 60 minutes in duration, I'd rather have a big indicator. A big fat minute indicator tracing a circle is something I can understand intuitively and register at a glance. So I actually prefer a dive bezel for surface use anytime I have to time something. You can see that the dial itself is a silver sunburst with a very deep radial directional grain. You can see that the indices themselves are beautifully lofted above the plane of the dial, applied thick and generous. There will be a loom shot at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. The silver base is effective as a contrast. In general, it's an inverse of what you see on most dive watches, which is a white on dark printing and a white on dark color scheme. This is actually dark on silver, and it works beautifully. You can see the red Tudor T outboard of each individual hour index, as well as the printing of the depth rating at 6 o'clock, so it even has a little bit of a splash of color. Now you'll note that the watch has both a quick set for the date for rapidly resetting the date and a hacking seconds function, so you can actually stop the watch and synchronize to a reference time. Screwed in case back and screw down crown endow the watch with 200-meter water resistance, and inside is a simple and tough ETA 28242 automatic winding bidirectional 38-hour power reserve, 28,800 vibration per hour rate. These watches, the Tudor Hydronauts from the 2000s, are, in my opinion, sleeper collectibles for tomorrow, as right now no one is looking in that direction. And if you want to find gold, if you want to go prospecting in the watch market, look where no one else is looking. These are historically important watches that unify the classical era of the Tudor Submariner with the modern era of the Black Bay and the Pelagos. An undiscovered gem. You can go prospecting for gold of your own in stainless steel form by checking out this watch on our website. Okay, you're looking at the Tudor Hydronaut II. A short-lived, but historically important, Rolex dive reference that spans the gap from the Tudor Submariners to the Pelagos and the Black Bay. See you on this one on our website.